So, it is the best day of the week. You might be asking yourself, why is it the best day of the week? It is currently back day, my favorite day of the week. So, we're going to be hitting back, biceps, and a little bit of shoulder. Very excited. It's my favorite day of the week, and it's my refeed day. You might be asking yourself, what is a refeed or the purpose of a refeed day? A refeed is when you go slightly, either you go maintenance or slightly above maintenance when you're on a deficit. And this is just to kind of refeed your body in a sense to kind of boost up that metabolism again so you don't get stagnant with the weight loss as well. Because after a certain point in your deficit, you're going to kind of become stagnant and plateau a little bit in terms of losing weight. And that refeed, when you do that, your body gets all this extra food and that extra caloric increase. It starts thinking, we're getting more food than usual. It's time to burn all this extra calories up, and it kind of speeds up your metabolism a little bit and just kind of helps regulate hormones and all that as well. So you don't crash or break down in the middle of the week because of the lack of food and nutrients. So a refeed is very important and essential to anyone's diet when they're on a deficit and they're restricting calories. So, with that being said, we are gonna go to the gym. It's a little earlier than usual, 4:30 in the morning. Had a little bit of trouble sleeping, so I figured let's just get up early and get it out of the way. I don't know if any of you guys can relate, but I'm the type of person that once I'm up, I can't go back to sleep. I don't know what it is about me that my body just doesn't allow it to happen. So yeah, once I'm up, I'm up. I can't go back to sleep after that. So I figured, let's just go to the gym earlier, get the footage and the content in, get the pump in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get this gym sesh going. No more dilly dallying. So one of the questions I get asked a lot, I've been thinking about this lately too, is how do you stay motivated for the gym? You know, I get asked that pretty frequently. You'd be surprised. Is how do you stay locked in? I wish I could be locked in. How do you do that? Where does this motivation come from? To that, I simply say, motivation. I don't need motivation. I just simply want it that badly. I don't need motivation because I want it so badly to the point where I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there. If that means restricting my calories, tracking my calories, getting up early to go to the gym, you know, that's part of it. That's part of the process, and that's what I have to do to get there. You gotta when you want to unlock a certain physique, if you want to make serious gains in the gym and just have like a killer, insane looking physique, you gotta train insane and you gotta be a little insane to get to that point. Because you gotta stay locked in, and it's a 365 thing. It's not 1 or 2 weeks out of the year. It is 365 daily thing. It's every day. It's nonstop, all gas, no brakes. You got to find a way to fall in love with the weights. I mean, it's not for everybody though. It might not be for you, and that's okay. It's not for everybody, but if it is for you, give it a shot. Try to lock in and see if it's something you really want that badly. But you gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. That's why I love a lot of bodybuilder quotes. I love Tom Platz, Mike Menser, Dorian Yates, especially Tom Platz. I love one of my favorite quotes from Tom Platz is, "I will not leave the gym a loser." You don't come out leaving the gym a loser. You got to leave the gym asking yourself, "Did I really put in 110% of my effort?" That's the only way you're going to progress and beat those plateaus and come out on top. And that's the way I see it. Like I don't, it's not really motivation. I kind of have to motivate myself. Like when people ask me, "How do you stay motivated?" It's not a question of how. It's more so a statement of I need to. I have to. Because if it's not me, it'll be somebody else. And I can't rely on somebody else to motivate me either. You know? It has to come from me. At the end of the day, when you're at the gym, half the time you're alone. Yeah, you can work out with a gym buddy or somebody to help push you every now and then, but at the end of the day, when you really want to go to the gym, you can't rely on somebody else. You can't think, well, my gym buddy's not here today, so guess I'm not working out. You can't think like that. You gotta, all right, well, my gym buddy's not here, but I'm still gonna go. It all comes down to the question, how bad do you fucking want it? If you want it that bad enough, you'll find a way to get it done. let's talk a little bit about, before we get to the gym, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to hit specifically. Probably going to be doing some lat pull downs. Um, Definitely going to be doing some rows. I last time I did the machine rows, but I'm going to do some cable rows today, just simply because I like to switch things up. I mean, it's essentially almost the same movement. They're slightly different, but I like to switch it up every now and then just so I don't get used to the same routine every now. I've been doing the same routine for quite some time, so I'm deciding to switch things up just a little bit. And that's important to do every now and then. Don't get your body so used to the same thing. I mean, you can do the same workouts, obviously, but make sure to increase the intensity. And that's the thing that people always tend to forget when it comes to lifting as well. I see a lot of people in the gym nowadays where they, you know, they'll put the weight super light and they'll do like 20, 25 reps. And I'm like, what are you doing? At that point, you're doing cardio and you're not contracting the muscle properly and not giving enough intensity to progressively overload. You gotta make sure you're pushing yourself past that point of intensity. Don't get comfortable with the weights either. You gotta make sure you're pushing yourself. Yeah, we're gonna be doing some lat pull downs, close grip lat pull downs. I don't know if I'm gonna do hammer curls today. I might. The last time I did hammer curls, I don't know what it was. The pump wasn't really pumping when I did. I got more of a bicep pump when I did preacher curls as opposed to hammer. But I guess we'll see when we get to the gym. But that's pretty much it. This workout's gonna be pretty much almost the same as last time. I mean, not much has changed. Um, I try to keep the movements relatively the same. So at the end of the day, what matters the most is the intensity, um, and making sure you're progressively overloading. Volume is important to an extent, but you don't have to go super crazy with the volume. And Dorian Yates, Mike Mentzer have both said that before. Volume does not really have to do much with muscular growth in terms of, you know, how hard you're like it matters more how hard you're pushing and the intensity. That's what matters. As long as you're training intensely, you need all you need is a good solid 2 sets, sometimes 3, and that's all you really need. Put in as much as you can with the intensity. Push yourself as hard as you can with that intensity till failure, until you cannot pick that weight up anymore, and you'll grow. You'll become bigger, and you'll definitely progress in the gym. I can guarantee you that. Currently 4:42, a little bit earlier than usual. So that being said, I'm gonna go work out real quick, get some footage, little back pump, bicep pump, and yeah, I'll show you guys the pump afterwards. So that just about covers it. As you can see in the footage, the pump was immaculate today. Honestly, despite me being depleted as hell, because I've been on a deficit for quite some time, the pump was very solid. I did feel a little weaker today, which is something you're gonna have to get used to when you're on a deficit. There's gonna be moments when you feel okay or strong, or your strength is still there. And there's gonna be some days where you feel a little bit more depleted than others. Hence why I'm doing a refeed today. In terms of refeeds, it really just depends on how low your body fat percentage is. And that's typically how the frequency changes depending on that. You know, the leaner you are, you want to maybe do like maybe once a week. So if you're still in the higher body fat percentages, you definitely don't want to be doing that many refeeds too often. I try to keep mine at 1 a week. So you can do slightly above maintenance or at maintenance calories. And essentially, for those of you who are wondering what are maintenance calories are just, it's a fancy way of saying the amount of calories your body needs specifically to not lose or gain weight. You know, it keeps your body maintained at the same weight. So I'm going to go slightly above maintenance today. I feel like I need it. I feel very, very depleted. I felt pretty weak in the gym today, but still was a great workout. Honestly, I love back and biceps, as you already know. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. I'm going to go home, shower, change, get ready for work, get some food in me, and I'm going to edit this guy together. Alrighty, I'll see you on the next one.